So Labour are looking to clamp down on benefits as Liz Kendall claims that young people won't be living a life of benefits under a Labour government. Under a Labour government, there will be no option of a life on benefits, the party has said, as it set out plans to reduce the number of young people not in work, education or training. The Shadow Work and Pensions Secretary Liz Kendall said the party would recruit 8,500 more mental health workers and promised that the sickness benefits bill would fall under Labour. The tough language on welfare, reminiscent of the 90s era New Labour, prompted concern about the implications of sanctions for those struggling with mental health issues. Quite right that it's a throwback to 90s Blairism, which is funny because the Labour right has always attacked the left for being stuck in the past and rejecting modernisation. But these people cannot move on from Blair. Now, despite the Tories always punishing those on benefits more, it was in fact Tony Blair who introduced the idea of the scrounger, and that government clamped down on benefits too. Blairites can't see the world as it is today. It's very different from the 90s, and even though people on benefits have never been a problem, ever, that has always been propaganda, the need for a stronger welfare state is even more apparent given the gross levels of inequality. People's material well-being has dramatically dropped since the 90s, so clamping down on benefits is incredibly out of touch. Kendall has also demeaned young people because she's targeted them specifically. She's using the narrative that young people don't have enough skills, which essentially make them less competitive in the jobs market, thereby individualizing a social problem. Rather than talk about how the economy is completely stacked against young people, with the lack of affordable housing, the lack of social housing, wages being pathetically low. Now, the real problem is we haven't given the right tools to people. That allows those off the hook who have set the rules of how the economy works, because it's not looking at the bigger picture. You can't skill your way out of this mess because the mess is systemic. The idea that after 14 years of austerity, 40 years of privatisation, and a housing crisis that continues to get worse, then the fact that Labour are clamping down on benefits, demonising young people, is outrageous. What also concerns me above all else is Kendall mentioned sickness benefits and the need for it to come down. No amount of skill is going to improve the situation for people in receipt of sickness and disability benefits. They're on it because they're sick. So you know exactly what that means. That means sanctions, that means telling people they're fit for work, and that means more deaths. There's no problem helping those who are disabled, those who are suffering from a mental health issue with job opportunities. Sometimes work can be liberating for one's physical and mental health, but this is Liz Kendall we're talking about. So don't expect some kind of compassionate strategy to get people into work they are physically able to do, which doesn't destroy people's mental health. No, it will be shoving people into soul-destroying, depressive jobs like working in a call centre. Now, here's the truth for you. For some people, it's better to be out of work and on sickness benefit than it is to force someone into menial work such as call centres. The problem we have with our current benefit system is that we sanction those who don't take the first job given to them, which will be exacerbated under Labour, it seems. So, for example, if you suffer from depression and the job centre calls you and says, oh, we found a suitable job, it's working on the phones, taking calls non-stop your whole shift, often speaking to rude and difficult customers, that may not be suitable for someone who is struggling with their mental health, but they're obligated to take it, otherwise they are sanctioned. I have experience in a call centre, and I can tell you, it is the worst job I have ever worked at. Now, I wasn't suffering from mental health issues at the time, but the job itself made me depressed at the age of 18. But it gets worse. This is a clip of Kendall at the very same speech attacking the Tories for not being tough enough on benefits.
For all the Tory claims about being tough on benefits, over the next 5 years, there will be 600,000 more people on sickness and disability benefits, and these benefits will cost an extra £33 billion. That is more than our current day-to-day expenditure on defence. The Office for Budget Responsibility says the sustained rise in health-related worklessness is holding back growth and living standards while putting ever greater pressure on the public finances.
There's a reason why Liz only got 4.5% of the membership vote when she ran for Labour leader. It's because her entire political career, she has not offered anything remotely positive. Anytime she's in the headlines, she's always coming up with a negative policy such as this. She's talked about clamping down on benefits many times before. And if I'm honest, I absolutely despise her. I think she is a repulsive politician. Our welfare state is not fit for purpose. It's not enough to help people. Now, the odds are stacked against people, especially young people, and her response is to make people's lives harder. It's a truly revolting kind of politics. The fact is, capitalism is fundamentally anti-human. People are diverse. Some people are creative. Some people are more physical than others. Some people love numbers and are happy doing menial tasks. But capitalism predicates on the idea that essentially people are a cog in the machine. It squeezes creativity out of people. It tries to morph everyone into a robotic worker. But we aren't robots. We're human. And then we turn around and blame people for those who struggle in this type of system. Some people physically struggle more than others, and some people aren't as mentally resilient as others. And our welfare state punishes people who don't conform to a certain type of person appropriate for capitalism. Now, I work harder in jobs that are closer or a better fit to my personality, something that appeals to the creativity in me. I find menial jobs harder to deal with than other people. So this discussion around benefits to me is absolutely sickening. We only have one conversation, which is, are too many people on it or are we spending too much? The question should be, is our welfare appropriate that meets the human condition, not the unnatural robotic behavior capitalism forces us to be? Now, I have major issues with universal basic income, but right now it's clearly a step we should take, or a step we should at least look at, because it gives people the chance to do the work they want to do without fear of, well, dying. People don't have to take any crap job that's given to them in order to survive. UBI gives people the freedom to find something that suits them. Now, for me, I prefer universal basic services, but given that we are much further away from that discussion, UBI seems like a real possibility. These are the questions we should be asking, but Labour are utterly unimaginable, and they are showing more and more that vulnerable people in our society are no safer under them than the Tories. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and drop a comment. It's good for the algorithm, and I'm interested in what you have to say. If you're not already subscribed, please do, and hit the notification bell. You can also support this channel by becoming a member for 99p per month, and if you're feeling a little more generous, then you can support us on Patreon for £3 or £5 per month. This channel for a while has been uploading every single day, and it's quite a lot of work that is still voluntary and scheduled around my paid work. But I have so much ambition, expect in the future to see more variety in content, such as interviews and Vox Pops. But I want this to be a fully fledged media organisation where not only is this my full-time job, but to have multiple people working for Turn Left. I like to see a live show in the future, more content that delves into culture, history, and much more. But that can only be done if there's money. So please, if you can, support us in any way that's in your capacity, and thank you to existing members, subscribers, and patrons. See you next time.